Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome to another Scripture Art Journal week. And this week's scripture comes from Ecclesiastes 11:5. And it says, "As you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things." And this one has been on me this week because I don't know God's plans for the future. I don't know his plans for our country. I don't know his plans for myself. I don't know his plans for you. We don't know his future plans. We do know that he says he has a good plan. He wants hope for us. He wants to give us a future. He wants us to look for him and find him in all the things that we do and say. And I think about this, and when I look at situations people are in, me and other people in and around my life, and I think, I know you can't see it right now, but you're going to be able to look back on this time in your life and you're going to be able to see where God has done something for you or how God has used you in some way. So you may be in a place in your life where maybe you're going through a really good time or a really bad time, or maybe there's someone who's helping you through a good time, or someone who's enjoying or helping you through a bad time, or someone's enjoying a good time with you. It's all there as part of his plan. It's all well orchestrated, and it's actually beautiful. When I look back on the things in my life, what God has done for me and what he continues to do, I think, how beautiful. And I could never have planned that for myself. He knows so much better than us. And so I wanted to be reminded this week that no matter what situation you're in, we don't know what his plan is for the wind. We don't know how he comes up with the way he puts beings into form and what his purpose is for them. But we do know that he has a good purpose and a good plan for us if we live for him and we look for him. So that is today's. And I was thinking very almost ethereal, but not exactly. I want to go very monochrome with my page today. And I don't know, maybe you wouldn't want to go monochrome with this, but for me, I'm feeling very solid and one-dimensional in this because it's not a roadmap. Life's not a roadmap. I want this to be kind of not sure. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll figure it out as we go along. But I'm going to use some stamps from my collection, which are what was this one from? This is from the stamp set called Sorry, and it's got the dandelions, and I think they're really cool for this. So here's these guys. I'm going to pull out some inks, and we're going to work like I said, very monochromatic. And the first thing I'm going to do is in my VersaFine inks, I have this color called Smoky Gray, and I'm also going to pull out Onyx Black because I'm planning to use both of those colors. And I also went into my Distress inks and pulled out Hickory Smoke. See how I'm kind of keeping these colors very gray and very, very similar? And notice my page is gray. It seems not to be gray on the screen, but it is a very gray page. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this smoky gray color on the dandelion. And I'm going to put some which will be basically in the background. I'm going to bring that Onyx Black and do some in the foreground on top of it. But I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to do several of these in different directions and things like that across the bottom of the page. So see how that's kind of a lighter gray? When I do the darker, it'll show through. I'm even going to see if I can get a second generation out of this one. And let's do it let's bring it over here and see what we get out of that. Yeah, see how pale that one got? That's good. I'm looking for that. Now I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take this stem and lift it up, and I'm going to turn the stem in the opposite direction and stick it back to the block so I can do this again and have it going in another angle. And I'm not worried about that piece hanging off because I don't need all of it. And I'm just going to decide if I want this one maybe here. These guys grow any old way, right? So we can put them anywhere. And I'm going to bring this one way down low and just get a little bit down there. Now, I still have this guy that's a half guy. And I also have this guy who goes in another direction as well. And I'm going to use him too, something like this. But I think I'll do him in more black and even him in black. So let's go ahead and move on to the Onyx Black. Ink this up. I like being able to turn these stems because if you want them to go in a different direction, you can do that. If you don't want all of them in the same direction, you can just turn the stem on the block. So see, now we're going to have this kind of movement where we have some in the front and some in the back. So back to the Onyx Black for this guy. And I'm going to bring this one down here, something like this. I really have no idea. I just know I wanted to do this kind of look, so I'm just kind of playing, and we'll see how it turns out. And I might even bring him over here as well and maybe turn him up a little bit. Let's ink him again. I'm also not too concerned if they're not perfectly inked, because I do want some of them to seem like they're missing pieces. So there are those two, or those three different stamps used. Now, in that same set, I have these little single pieces that kind of will fly off the page. So what I'm going to do with these is open these inks. I've got my gray here, my black here. I think I'll start with this big guy and put him in the gray first. And I'm just going to have these guys kind of trailing off as if the wind had blown them. And let's bring the big one over and do some black ones of those. Working with these two colors is super easy too. You just have to remember which one you use last. You want to use the lighter color first and then the darker color second, so that way you're not contaminating or cross-contaminating your inks. All right, now I'm thinking I want this to travel up the side of the page. So I'm just going to kind of keep going with this one and give myself some traveling happening, just to kind of loosen it as we go. And then I'm going to come back with this guy and do the same thing to kind of fill in some spots, have it kind of travel and leave space for my scripture here. I love how, I mean, it just looks extremely windy at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like the wind has blown these dudes all over the place, and that's what I was looking for. Almost like they have exploded, if that makes sense. Now, and it probably looks like a crazy mess, but we're fixing to tie it all together. We'll put these inks away really quick. Just like so. And then I'm going to bring that distress ink in. Now this is Hickory Smoke Distress Ink that I'm using now with a round blending tool. And at an angle, I'm coming off of the page and onto the page. And I'm going to bring a lot of inking in to give even more movement to the page. This will help to pull everything together and give it an even more windy feel. Now to me, the inking makes it feel very stormy and very cloudy, and I'm not even sure I love it at this point, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Now I've taken my pencil and I have penciled in, "You don't know the path of the," and here I'm going to do the word wind. And I'm trying to make these letters very windy looking, like the wind might be. Put some little dots there. Get rid of some marks I've got there. And then I don't like the way I wrote no, so I'm going to erase that and do that one again. That's the good thing about using a pencil. You can change this stuff up, and then when you pen it in with your ink, it'll look good. That just didn't look like how I write, so I wanted to change it. I like to have my handwriting in here, so. All right, so there's that. And now let's go over it with the black pen to start with. Now I'm going to play with some lighter colors. I'm going to bring my white pen, my silver pen in. I think we'll just start with white and silver and see what we get. In these little flowers down here, because I feel like they're getting kind of lost, I'm going to do some white highlights. Just here and there, I'm going to dot in with just a little bit of white. And this is where I think this will start to tie together, because like I told you, I wasn't real happy with how it was looking. But this is the part where I usually can see things start to change. I'm pretending like these little dots are almost the seeds of the plant. So I'm just adding them in different places. I'm starting on the black ones first, because I think on the gray dandelions, I think I'm going to use the silver pen for seeds on the gray. So I'm doing the same on these little, all the black ones that are flying away. I'm just pretending like this little white dot is kind of that seed. And this is where the image or the picture will really start to pop. On these really big ones, I added 2 little dots. And you see those little white dots? It really changes things. All right, did I get all the black ones? I think I did. Now, and if this doesn't work, we'll go back to the white, but I'm going to try doing it with the silver pen on the gray ones. And I think that looks really cool. Let me bring this up and show you. Can you see the little dots? What a difference that made, right? Now I'm going to do a little bit on the stems. On these gray ones, I'm going to run down just a little silver line on the stem. Maybe not the whole way, but a good bit of the way. That looks really good to me. I like that. Let's do one over here on this side. Then on this one. Just a tiny bit down here. And I'm even going to come into the leaf and kind of do it as well. This is where you can really add all those little touches and bring everything together. So even if you think it's not working, don't stop. You'll be surprised where you can get it to go. Now I'm going to do white on the black. Now I'm going to go back through and erase the pencil marks that are showing. Be sure when you're using these pens that you let that ink dry before you go back to erase. Really, no matter what pen you're doing, make sure you let your ink dry. And even though you think sometimes you don't need to erase the pencil mark, I find that if I take the time to erase it, my writing looks more polished. So even if you think you went perfectly over it, go back over it a little bit and try to take some of that pencil out. You'll be surprised how much cleaner it'll make your drawing. All right, and then I think I'll do a little bit of white highlight up there just to pull some white up. And that is it. That is today's page. I really love how that turned out. I like the bottom better than I do my writing, but still my handwriting, and I like to have it in my journal, so I'm leaving it there, and I'm not going to stress about it. That's not the point of journaling. The point of journaling is to enjoy it and enjoy the process. Now all I need to do is glue this guy into place. And there we go, another week done. I love, love, love how this one turned out. I didn't think I would at first. I was really worried about it. But you know what? The wind is kind of stormy. Sometimes life can be stormy and we don't know what's going to happen. But I love a reminder that God is in control, right? So there you go, guys. If this is your first time joining us for our scripture art journaling, head over to our Facebook group, which is called Hide His Word in My Heart, and join the group and get involved. You'll be able to see a lot more art journal ideas there, and you'll see what other people are doing with this scripture this week, as well as all the scriptures from our past journaling. We've done all of 2016 so far, and we've done all of 2015 as well, so you can get involved in either of those years if you'd like. There are full lists of the scriptures over on the Facebook page. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Hope you have a great one. Bye-bye.